progress equals happiness. Are you making progress? Are you healing? Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you moving forward? And have you learned how to keep on living? Welcome back to Grief Inspired. My name is Catherine McNulty, and today I want to share with you a nugget from the amazing Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins talks so much about progress in life and how happiness and finding happiness is all about making progress. So today I am talking about mantra number 1, which is I am worthy and deserving of happiness. Today I want you to think back on your grief journey thus far with the person that you have lost and the people that you're missing. And I want you to think about the progress that you've made. Are you focusing on the progress and moving forward in your grief? Or are you stuck focusing on your loss? Now, Tony Robbins, when he talks about progress and finding happiness and progress being a way of finding happiness, he asks us to look within ourselves and realize that we are capable of more than we think we are. And I can guarantee that if you're here and you've been watching my videos, you also are capable of more than you think you are. When we lose our loved ones in the beginning, we all question whether or not we can do this. And I think we all say the words, I don't know that I can do this. If that's happened to you, and if you've said those words, drop a comment below so that everybody else knows that they're not alone. But the reality is that you're here and you're watching this video and you want to learn more about your grief. And what you're teaching yourself is that you can do this. And it's maybe getting through the day, getting through the hour, getting through the months since your loss. And you can look back and we say over and over again, I can't believe it's been 3 months. I can't believe it's been 6 months. I can't believe that it's a year. Because in so many ways, it feels like it just happened, like it's so fresh, like we're still scrambling to figure out what exactly happened. But when you look at your progress, I want you to think about how have you gotten to know yourself? How have you shown that you are capable? Where have you found your strength? What are the things that you do now that you didn't think you'd ever be able to do? What are the things that surprise you about how far you've come? Progress is equal to happiness. If you can focus on the progress that you're making. In my grief course, we talk all of the time about having a target, right? And that going through grief is very much something that requires goals. You cannot get where you want to go if you don't know where you're going. And get a piece of paper and write this down. Where am I going with my grief? How do I want to feel about my loss? How do I want to live day to day? What do I want the life that I have now to be like? Because we can't go back. We all want to go back. That's a given. We want our lives to be like they were before our loss. But that's not possible. So in order to keep on living like we do here at Grief Inspired, we have to figure out how to do that. And one way is to look at our progress and to know that our progress and making progress in our own healing of our grief is what's going to allow us to be happy again. And there's the period of time that you have in your loss where there is no joy. And I get that. And you all know what it's like to think, I am never going to laugh again. I am never going to feel joy again, because all I can feel now is sheer devastation, sheer sadness, fear, overwhelming grief. But the reality is that you will laugh again. Something will happen. I think you guys all know the story that we were outside and after losing my son, and my ex-husband hit his thumb with a hammer. Well, I laughed out loud, not because he was hurt, but because it was funny in his reaction to hitting himself with a hammer, because it was so in the moment kind of reaction. And so I didn't think, should I laugh? Should I not laugh? I just laughed out loud. And it was in that moment that I realized that I could laugh again. And you will find that moment too. If you found the moment where you can laugh again, where you can smile again, where you can feel joy again, please comment below so that people know that they can be inspired by your progress, by your grief. Because I think that's so important. We need to understand and know that we are making progress. And maybe it's not going as fast as we want it to, right? The world gives you basically a year to grieve. And even in that, maybe not. But in the world, if you Google it, it'll say grief takes about a year. And if you've lost a spouse or a child or a parent or someone close to you, you know that grief takes far longer than a year to process. And is there an end to our grief? That might need to be another video. But when we look at Tony Robbins talking about progress, and making progress is what leads to happiness, because we feel like we're becoming more, we're growing more, we're making a difference in our own lives. And what happens is, as we grow in our own grief, we feel more compassion for other people. We gain new awarenesses, and suddenly we find that we want to give. And we learn that in giving to others, that we can find happiness. That giving to others and sharing our experience of grief and loss and validating other people in their loss, like you all do in my Facebook group. If you are not in that Facebook group, please go to the Grief Inspired Facebook group and join us so that you can share what's going on with you. And when you have your hard days, that you will be reminded, and you can have other people support you on your hard days. And on days when you're feeling a little bit lighter, a little bit better, and where you feel like, yes, I've made some progress, well, then you can give back. Because that is where happiness lies, is knowing that we're capable of grieving, that we're capable of healing, that we're capable of moving forward, of being able to keep on living without our loved ones physically with us. And so I want to ask you a question to contemplate today. What is the one thing that you can do that will make the most impact in your life to move you forward? What is the one thing that you can do that will impact your life the most to move forward? Sometimes it's the things that you've been avoiding. Sometimes it's the things that, hey, I've been thinking about that. It's been rolling around in my head, but I haven't actually acted on it. Sometimes grief can paralyze us, but we don't want to stay in that paralyzed state. Because if we do that, we stay lost in the void. We stay stuck in our grief. We don't make progress and we don't move forward. And that really isn't living. This channel is about how to keep on living. And the way to keep on living is to find some forward progress. So what is the thing that you can do today? First, you have to think it, And then you have to physically act on it. And so I want you to drop a comment below and tell me, what is that one thing? If you know what it is already, it's probably already popped into your head. And that first thing that pops into your head is probably one that you can act on. So drop it below. Ask us to hold you accountable in that. Go to my Facebook group. Drop it in there. This is what I want to be held accountable to. What is that one thing for you? And let's move forward. Let's keep on living. Let's make progress. Because as Tony Robbins says, progress equals happiness. And it's going to shift your awareness. You're going to find something new, a way of looking at your grief, of your loss, of your life, of who you are going to become in a new way. And that's where healing lives. It lives in our growth. It lives in our self-improvement. It lives in our connectedness to other people. That is why we're here. This is the wonder of YouTube, the wonder of Facebook, is that we can connect and we can come together and we can support each other to learn how to keep on living. And if you liked this video, you're gonna love this video. Be sure to join my Facebook group. Be sure to reach out to me at griefinspired@gmail.com if you want to know more about how to work through your grief more effectively, how you can keep on living. Let's do it together in a course, united, supported, and make it less painful, less confusing, and less lonely.